The permanent art collection came about with a gentleman, his name was Melville Rapp, and he had a art fund. He decided that the best place to contribute was the library. We really didn't at the time had a budget for the art collection. It was mostly what people were giving us. He gave us two magnificent pieces. He gave three, I would say. He gave Calder, a Rouault piece from the Miserere series, and a Picasso. He contributed many other pieces that were minor, like Salvador Dali and many others. So all of a sudden we had like more than 100 prints in the collection. Those that were exceptional by very well-known artists and very costly, we separated and we put in what we started to call the permanent collection.
I think we should emphasize that the exhibition history of the library system reflects a super sensitivity to the hyphenated communities in Miami. That the Hispanic heritage, that the Black History Month, that Women's Month in March, any small group that came upon the scene when the Haitians came upon the scene, any small group, any little interest was important that they be targeted with a certain kind of specialized exhibition.
Southeast Bank actually purchased the van, and then the library was responsible for the restoration on the inside to turn it from what would have been a bookmobile into a little gallery. So it had Velcro walls that you could stick things to, and because we didn't use a hanging system, we matted the artwork and covered it with plastic and then put Velcro on the back and adhered it to the walls. But it had wonderful little track lights, and it was really delightful. We had a show of Lowell Nesbitt's prints, some really wonderful prints of flowers, and that was the first exhibition in the Artmobile. And I think the first place we scheduled the Artmobile was probably North Campus. And I learned early on that the schools were going to be a wonderful source of support and also a wonderful audience for us. So we developed really great relationships with the community colleges and with the schools. Found out early on that the artists in this community are very, very, and maybe just generally, artists are very supportive of libraries. So if I would go to somebody and say, I want something for the Artmobile, I mean, they would stop and they would deliver. Public libraries are something that artists all support with very generous hearts.
This Sunday, Miami downtown has a surprise for you. We're going to have music, outdoor cafes, domino tournaments, and the Downtown Art Wave Miami Tumble. 600 giant dominoes painted by artists, students, and the children of Miami. The Center for Fine Arts and the Downtown Business Association invites you to be downtown this Sunday from 10 to 4 when the dominoes tumble on Biscayne and Flagler. Don't miss the tumble.
Jan van der Mark was talking about having something to promote the forthcoming opening of the Cultural Center.
Which is in early 83. Yes.
83. Okay. And I think Cano was watching television one night and saw a commercial where they were using the dominoes. And she got the idea. First the idea was just setting up the little dominoes and going all the way down Flagler and arranging them in different orders and things like that. But the idea kind of grew and expanded, and now we have 8-foot or 7.5 feet tall dominoes.
So we just decided we talked to these people who had just started a business here on industrial boxes and cardboard boxes and stuff.
We went from dominoes to, we were going to do books. We set the dominoes because they wanted us to emphasize that we're moving from the old building to the new building.
We were moving, so like there was a move.
Flagler Street, and we were thinking all these little dominoes. Then we thought books. And then it got bigger and bigger, and finally it was receptacles or cardboard boxes for refrigerators.
The library is Ed Ruscha, which is an installation in the library and Art in Public Places piece commissioned in the Rotunda. These are exquisite paintings, and the lunettes and the rest of the library. I mean, we are a repository of Ed Ruscha. We probably have more Ed Ruscha than any one institution in the country.
When he was doing the project, he gave us a film, he gave us the books, he continued to stay in touch with us and send us catalogs. So it was a wonderful friendship.
No, I want just to paint directly on the wall. First we were a little scared about that, but then we said, well, why not? I was astounded. I found that the walls had all been covered with sketches that had an incredible theme, and it was absolutely beautiful. And so the theme was this theme of the community upheaval that we had. And we thought that it would come up and then it would die because the whole building was going to be destroyed, and we were moving to the new building. But so we decided to tape it, and we taped the mural, so that we still have it on a tape, and it's a beautiful thing. And he also had done the library, because he had done the library in Over Town. He painted all the four walls of the exteriors of that library. It was magnificent. It was sensational. It created a wonderful atmosphere of pride and joy in that area. I mean, Purvis was a very, very special person, and we really enjoyed his work a lot.
Purvis was one of the people that I think came in for a long time before. I met him through Margarita, but she had met him, I think, in the art department as one of the people that would come in and pull out the big art books and look at them. And I think it wasn't, you didn't realize that he was an artist until that he was somebody that was actually making artwork until Mr. Davis at the Miami Museum of Modern Art had an exhibition.
He's our greatest urban artist because he has limed the streets and the people who live on the outdoors and in the public. He was a truly and our first and probably best conceptual artist. And he was a performance artist.
The 10,000 piece opened the branch at the new Hispanic branch on Flagler Street, and it has aged beautifully.
It's hanging here right now.
In 1980, it was when it was done, and all these years, the piece is mostly newspaper, so it's gotten sort of like a brownish color, and it's absolutely fabulous. The red and the impact, and then we've mounted them in plexiglass, and they're about 8 panels, 4 by 7, so it's a big a piece.
The Visara Project, which is an archive of the history of art of Miami from 1945 to the ever-changing present, really began with the timeline, which was something that Barbara and Margarita did for an anniversary time in Miami's history. Finding the stuff from the year 2000 when we started was just a question of clipping and paying attention and buying a lot of magazines and making sure we got copies of current books that included information about Miami, Miami's art scene, special collections, special artists, whatever the connection is. I always felt that it was open-ended, that anybody who came through Miami for any reason that had to do with art was a worthy subject for us. It's a very important resource for anybody who wants to know anything about art in Miami. I think that everybody has to know that the library is the most public institution in the city, in the county, in the state, and that everybody feels comfortable here and comes. This place has people, always.
And it's an amazing concept.
It's the whole concept of the public library, which continues to change and go into the new electronic world and provides the computers that people don't have, and provides the videotapes, the DVDs, and anything else that the community needs. The library is always there, and everyone, it's open door policy. Everyone can come here with no trepidation, no fear of anything. They just come, and they're always here. But not every library has art.
And I think, the ones that we're talking about, even, I wonder if they really have art throughout their branches quite as available, quite as visible, quite as much a part of the information that they present to their public. And we began to tell people it's not, don't think art so much, think it's visual information, and this is a record of our community and our artists, and it's information. It's important for people to have. It's just as important as any of the other book collections, the science collections, the fiction collections.
I would say it's like a visual narrative of history of what's going on.
Well, it's the only place in town, if you want to know about Miami artists, see their work and or do research about their work. It's the only place you can go, because it was first and foremost a collection of Miami-based art.